Manager for your project.
Hey, everybody! I'm Vassal.
Hey, I'm Z Garcia.
Hey, it's Mike DeLisio.
Hello. We're a traveling band of pirate clowns. Yeah, give me all your gold.
Great. Before we start, hey, Tails13, we saw that you became a member of the channel. Thanks. We want to shout that out there real quick.
Thank you.
And we appreciate that. All righty. Well, if you've never been with us before, we are Crowdsurfing is a show where we talk about Kickstarter and various projects on Kickstarter, giving our unvarnished, unfiltered,
Unadulterated.
I didn't say unintelligible. I don't know. I don't know. Who's that guy from Police Academy?
Oh yeah, I can't remember what his character's name was, but yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was that one actor's one shtick, by the way, in anything he was ever in.
Right.
Yes.
Anyhow.
So we're here to look at a bunch of Kickstarters. So really, we've been delaying it for a while. Let's get started. We're going to talk about the first Kickstarter we're going to talk about is not even a board game, but it's from a board game company, and that is CMON Comics. Now, I saw in 2019 in the Zombicide 2 Kickstarter, I saw that they released one of these comics. You could download it and read it for free.
Okay.
I think they were giving it out at one of their at a convention somewhere, and I remember seeing that it was not a safe for work style comic. I think they said there was violence and language. I think.
Okay.
So
there was a Starcadia Quest comic too, correct? Like a whole series of Starcadia Quest comics, I believe.
Yeah, you know what? I know
that actually were at comic stores.
It wasn't Rising Sun. It was Starcadia Quest.
I think there was both. Now that you mention it, I think they also did a Rising Sun comic. But these are more graphic novels. It looks like to me.
Yeah, I can't tell if these are.
What's the difference? That one's bigger.
Well, I'm not an expert. I mean, Tom reads more comics than I do. But from what I guess I always thought that graphic novels were maybe lengthier. They were more. I don't know. I was thinking like the Killing Joke. Batman was a graphic novel. It was a larger contained story.
Sometimes they're released as a graphic novel, but for the most part, they're often graphic novels are just a collection of comics in a book form.
Okay.
Nowadays, they're, from what I understand, they're sold much more than the comics themselves, as far as I can tell, which makes sense because it's not fun to get a bunch of comics that have advertisements and letters in the back, and then you have to stick them in the right order when a graphic novel has the whole story right there.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Walking Dead comics, I think they're up to like, I don't know, the 13th of these pretty thick graphic novels at this point.
Those are massive doorstopper things. Yeah.
Right. So they're more anthologies then, usually, I guess.
Omnibus.
It's more of a single story. It's more of a single story. Anyway, we're getting off topic.
No. Let's continue talking about the terminology for comic books.
Let's dive deep into the terminology of comics. Yes.
I will say about these, this looks cool. I do wish that 2 out of the 3 they're showing here were not Zombicide. I know they're very different themes, ultimately, like the sci-fi and the modern horror, but I don't know. They got enough properties where I wish one of these was something else.
Correct.
Yeah,
I think that you're allowed to pick just one or pick 2. You're not stuck getting all 3 if you're not interested in all of them, because the only one I'm interested in is the Cthulhu, and that's because it comes with stuff for the game. So I don't know if we want to get into that or not.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Oh, absolutely. It comes with minis. It comes with new investigators. It's going to probably come with new monsters. Like significant every day, they're unlocking content for all 3 of the games. So it's basically this whole idea of every day they unlock a new. So I think there's already 2 new investigators for Death May Die that have been unlocked.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
You think it's cool that they have content for the games?
Part of me thinks it's
people
cool,
are
and
going
part
to
of me
lose their
thinks-
minds,
Right.
you know, that it's going to be, I assume, limited. And so when you buy the comic later on, there's all this stuff you're not getting, I imagine. But
Correct.
still cool. You know, if
Yeah.
you're into it, you'll get extra stuff. Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Because for $30, the way I'm looking at it, I'm getting a hardcover graphic novel that I'm hoping I'll find enjoyable, and I'm getting, probably 6 or 7 minis at least. This is what, an 8-day campaign?
That's a good
Okay,
deal.
Mike,
That's a
you're
good
selling me
deal.
on this. I do like that the numbers go down. Buy one for 30, get the second one for 25, get the third one
Yeah.
for 20. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty reasonable. That seems in line with graphic prices, and the pictures are great. All right. Well, anyway, let's go take some games. So
All right.
I
Pick
will
of the
say,
week, baby. Pick of the week. Let's quit right here.
Let's just stop.
I'll tell you what though, I have not yet made up my mind on pick of the week. I'm gonna wait till we.
I have not either.
I have
I'm-
mine picked out, guys. And I'll
I'm
tell you
not.
what. Does it involve fungus inside of plastic dice? You betcha.
Huzzah! Montana Moss. Okay.
Montana Moss sounds like some character from a Hanna-Barbera cartoon in the 1970s.
Yeah. Yes, Montana Moss.
Part of the Wacky Racers, right?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
right. Wow.
Okay, so I stick these on for two reasons. One, because I think they're cool, and I just like to irritate Z. But I actually think these look neat. The clear red ones, particularly, like this one right here, in the middle of the screen. I like how that looks. It's the
It
kind of
looks cool.
die though that I wouldn't use in a game. I would just have them to show people.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
the guy that runs this has like a huge pond in his backyard. And he hasn't cleaned it out for a good 10 or 15 years. It's like, what am I going to do with all this weird colored algae?
Oh.
All right,
So
mock it all you want. I like these. I think
I
they're
like
cool.
the red ones. Yeah, the
They
red
look
ones are
cool.
okay. They're intelligible, like we were talking about. You can't read these. You can't use these. You know,
I would use the red ones. I think maybe for a Cthulhu game.
they're really hard to tell those numbers. I think that they're picking their choice shots to show you
Yeah.
the numbers, and in a lot of these, you can't tell that well. And this is, I assume, the best they got. So I don't know. I think they're pretty and they're a cool, clever concept, but just not very functional. You're right. I think just to display and have a cool story tied to these dice, be like, yeah, these came out of some guy's pond. That's cool.
Yeah. The price is reasonable. I'll say that. I mean, it's not an outrageous price for a set of dice, $20.
All righty. Well, either way, it's interesting. And anyway,
What else would
just-
you want them to put inside of dice, Tom? If they had some sort of stretch goal, and they were like, okay, we're going to put something else in plastic.
you know what? I wouldn't mind having dice with like ants in them.
Ooh.
Live ants.
Not obviously they're not live. Come
Sea
on, now.
monkeys. Let's put sea monkeys in dice.
Okay, we're getting way off topic here. By the way, thank you, Buck. Appreciate it. All right. The Phantom, the card game. So this is set in the world of the Phantom comic strip, which was made into a, in my opinion, fairly boring movie.
If Billy Zane could hear you now.
My heart will go on. Anyhow, Billy
Oh.
Zane. I don't know enough about this company. This is their first one created. That always worries me a bit. I like the Phantom concept for the game.
Yeah.
It almost, like when you go through this Kickstarter, first they start off with, hey, we have the Phantom license. Did you know that? And then here's all the videos. And finally now they start showing us the game a little bit.
Sure.
It looks like an older CCG.
100%.
It's only a 1 and 2 player game. Is that right?
Sounds right. It's an old
believe it's-
CCG. This is basically
Yeah.
what this is.
Now, I do like the artwork. I mean, it's from the comic book, which is very popular.
Right.
I'm just hoping that the game is good. It might be. It might be.
I believe that there's a fair amount. One thing that assuages my fear a little bit, because I was a little concerned too with it being a first time project, is that it does look like they've got like demos available, and I think you can play it on Tabletop Simulator, and that to me shows that there's at least some confidence in the product, or else they wouldn't make it that available. But I haven't tried it. I'm intrigued. I'll say that I'm intrigued.
All right, cool. Do you like the comic?
I've never read the comic. I'm not terribly familiar with the IP.
It's very pulpy. That whole, guy runs around and you can just tell by the way the pictures are drawn. Yeah. All right.
They're basically saying that was the first comic that had spandex in it, so I don't know.
Cool. Thanks a lot.
That's what the page said. I'm just reporting the news, Tom.
No, I'm saying thanks a lot to them, not you. All right. So we have here Blink's game system, 20 new games. Jason Levine just reviewed this on our channel. So the concept here is pretty cool. You have these devices that light up and they change colors. And when you buy one of these, let me see if I can find an example here. Here they have 100 shown together. But when you buy one, each one comes programmed with a game. And then when you attach it to other ones, those will learn the game from that one. So you don't need to buy a whole new set if a new game comes out. You just need to get one that has that game programmed in it.
So Skynet, basically.
Yeah.
They learn from each other.
Skynet.
Correct.
Now, I have played 2 of the games when we were there. I tested 2 of them. I don't remember the names of the games. One of them was
Dark Ball.
Okay, it was not Dark Ball. It was not Dark Ball. It was also not Paintbrush. It was definitely not Group Therapy. Was not Reactor. Was it Raid? No, it wasn't Raid. Although Raid sounds really fun to play. And it wasn't Pirates and Lasers. Oh, no, wait. No, maybe it was Pirates and Lasers. No, I don't think so.
Who cares? Keep going. This is so stupid.
Oh, you don't like this?
No, this is so ridiculous.
I played a couple of these with Jason as well. But to be fair, when I played, it was about 3:30 in the morning, and I desperately wanted to go to sleep. So I really just wanted it to be over. But I think it's an interesting idea. I think that you're going to have a lot of people that are going to play it's not a game, it's not a board game card, because it's not a board game, it's a technology game. But I think it's very interesting as a piece of technology. I don't get the impression that the games are going to be much to write home about. Now, I know Jason in his review talked a lot about the fact that you can program your own games. So if that's something you have an interest in,
your own lame
okay.
says game. You know what I mean?
Listen. Here's the game. It's Fracture, by the way. Fracture. I like that game. It was a good game. It's fun. I think the concept super cool. I think the games are fun.
I agree.
Here's my problem. It's too expensive.
It's
not
expensive.
It's not even
tech demo, like Mike says. This is cool technology. I would buy, again, for one thing, it breaks that one rule where they give you a bunch of games in one box. Those are bad, okay? I guarantee you, if you're buying 10 games in one, they're all bad, everybody. Those are not 10 of the best Knizia games. They're all bad. And so
here's the other thing. How many of these games could be played on a Nintendo Switch?
Fracture for sure.
All of them. Right? So how about you take that $299 and you buy a Nintendo Switch?
No, I get that. Okay, I understand that. I'm just saying that you can pick them up and move them around. It's a fun toy type thing. Yes, you can play a lot of things on the Switch. My concern again is the price. I don't think people realize how expensive it is.
Right. The Blink anything more technologically advanced than Lincoln Logs makes me sick.
I'm gonna have Roy mute you soon. I'm trying to talk about this stupid game here. This is my word. Okay, it costs $79. It says it's 6 games. You get 6 points in 6 games. 6 of these is not that great. You need more than 6.
Yes.
Right? 6 is nothing. So you get a 12-pack for $158. I just cannot. If I went to the store to buy one of these and it cost $12, no. And that's my problem with this is it's way too expensive. It's not even a little inexpensive. No one just wants to pay $250 for 18 of these. That's insane. Also, I'm going to be taking the set we have and putting up on eBay. I'm not going to do that, folks. But my word, when they sent us this for review, I didn't realize how much money they sent us, essentially. Yeah. Right?
You have one of these?
Well, Jason has it at his house. You know, we're never going to see it again. But
I've never seen this in the
and
first
it's a big
place,
set too. He's got the big set. I think he's got
I
that.
think like 24 of
big.
them or something.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of money.
Well,
Good night. I'm telling you, this looks neat, like a cool tech demo type thing, but I don't think I'd buy it to play. To do this, it seems gimmicky, like just a gimmick in a box.
Well, I, on the other hand, think it looks really neat. I'm not sure, though, if they cut the price in half, if I wouldn't think that was too expensive.
Right.
Like this is way outside my I'm willing to pay for this range.
Also, there's a distinctive lack of moss inside of those little links as well.
Oh, my word. Victim, the Cursed Forest, and the Asylum expansion. So this confused me with the name. I don't know why they didn't call it Victim, the Cursed Forest.
There's so much about this that's confusing. That's just one of them, yeah.
Well, no, when I first saw this, I thought I never heard of the game, and I looked it up and realized this was the game. Why put the expansion name in the description? But whatever. I think it looks pretty interesting. It's just a little weird, the miniatures. What style are the miniatures? They're not chibis, right?
No, you know what this reminds me of, Tom? I know you played this game. It reminds me of the look of that game, The Faceless.
Well, it does, but these aren't kids, right?
Yeah.
They're like adults, I think, or teenagers. I just don't know what style this is.
There's a little bit of an anime look to some of the characters.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. These all look like Johnny Quest to me or something. I don't know.
Yes, yeah.
Well, I think the concept that I like this. I personally like this look. I like how the scary stuff isn't really that scary looking. Yeah.
Right.
I think it's clean. It looks different than a lot of other stuff that's out there.
That looks like anime to me. That cheerleader.
Well, sure, yeah.
Very much, yeah.
Kind of tired of the whole cheerleader motif myself, but
yeah.
The tiles, the cards, it has a decent look to it.
It's that modular board I don't get too. It looks like there's like a 3-dimensional board, like almost like a stackable. You're playing on different levels. I guess I don't really have a sense. There's so much information. This page literally goes on for hours. Like we could be here for 3 hours scrolling. There's just so much that I can't tell what's going on. I mean, it's intriguing, but look on the right side of the screen there. You've got a long way to go. I mean, you're not even halfway through yet.
Settle in there, because we're not moving till I scroll in.
Buckle in, baby. You're in for a bumpy ride.
Here we go. Let's go.
I mean, it just keeps going.
That looks like a Homer skull, by the way.
Yeah, I can't unsee that.
You're not even halfway done.
I think this looks interesting. We'll have to wait and see. Apparently, this failed the first time, or it was canceled, and it's a redone. And maybe that's why the expansion name's in it, because you can't run the same thing twice or something.
Right.
Dale of Merchants 3, which if you bought the big collector's case, there's space in there for this.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the dividers.
And you can get the big collector's case with this, true, right? You can get the big collector with this, yeah.
You can buy all of the previous stuff all at once.
Actually, Z just reviewed it, I think, right?
I reviewed the collection, the big one before this, yeah. I just reviewed that a couple days ago, and so you can check that out. And like I said in the review, it has deck selection cards that include these already. So you've got that, and the dividers in there. Yeah, the collection box is great to keep it all. So this is one I'm actually backing, and that's a very, very rare thing for me. But I need it. I need to fill that box up.
Gotta have the box filled.
It's interesting to me. I didn't realize this is only his second Kickstarter. Like this is his first Kickstarter. I'm pretty sure was Dawn of Peacemakers.
He didn't kickstart the other Dale of Merchants games?
No, so that's fascinating to me. And folks, if you never played them, it's a really good deck builder.
It is.
And you can buy any of them. You could buy 1 or 2, and I'm assuming 3. They all play the same way. They just have different decks of animals. There's usually 1. In fact, I prefer having 2 because there's 1 animal in each set that attacks other players.
Right.
And I would prefer not to play with those. So you can do that when you have more than 1 set. You just don't play with that particular animal. They mix and match really well. I think.
It's a clever system, and just what you brought up is probably my favorite part, is that you can kind of tailor it to the play style of the people at the table. If you like super aggressive and confrontational interactive games, you can definitely play it that way. If you like games that are more about combos, you can play it that way. Right. It's a clever twist. You know, Z and I, and Tom, we've talked about how deck builders are maybe a little kind of played out. This has a different feel.
I agree. Right. Yeah, this breaks a lot of those sort of set in stone rules. Like at the end of every round, you dump your whole hand and draw a new hand. This game doesn't do that. You know, you buy points cards. In this game, you don't do that. At the end of the game, you count up your whole deck and see how many points you have. In this game, you don't do that. The game is just over when you build your last stall. Yeah, I just like that it's not the same old thing. This one feels different. No. It feels fun.
Yep.
All right, Bible Brawl.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Not safe for Sunday school.
Dude,
how long have you been sitting on that joke, Mike?
I've been waiting for about 24 hours.
It's not a joke. It's actually in the description.
Saying.
Oh, never mind.
Okay, so I would have skipped this actually, but it's made $12,000, so it's there. I don't hate the artwork, and yet I do. I don't know how to explain. This is that kind of artwork that I like and hate at the same time.
This has a very Cartoon Network feel to it. There's a particular show that's escaping my mind that looks very much like this on Cartoon Network.
All right, here's my concern with the game. Besides the not safe for Sunday school part, which is here it is, NSFSS. Anyway,
where is that? Wait, I mean, let me.
It's on the screen right now. I'm showing you.
Got it. I see it. Okay.
Here's my thing. I cannot tell from this if they are being respectful. I mean, I know they're being silly, right? I can't tell if they're mocking the Bible or not.
These guys say that this is made by two pastors. They say.
Yeah. I think that it seems like they're too knowledgeable to be making fun of it. I just think that what they're trying, from what I could tell from the campaign, I think that they're trying to highlight some aspects, some Bible stories that are maybe, say, hey, if you look at these on a literal level, there's a lot of, violence and, potentially things like that.
Sure, so I get that. But the violence in these games, like, for example, this card here, Eli, where he fell and broke his neck. This was a very sad, dramatic thing that happened.
Yeah.
And here it's kind of like, to me, that bugs me a bit, right? Maybe the game's good or not, but it almost is like making light of an actual person who died. Like, that's not a made-up story.
Are you saying it's too soon?
No, not too soon. It's that I don't know. It's just, oh, yeah, someone said it reminds me of the Epic Spell Wars art. You're right. That's what this looks like.
Yeah,
there is that. Yeah. It seems to me like they're trying to take subject matter that is oftentimes considered to be holy. I don't know, very, very. Yeah, and they're trying to make it a little bit more exciting. I don't know. I can't tell if the game
is so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
I will hunt this down and try out a copy at the end of the day. We'll see.
Oh my goodness. Oh man, I need to try this too. Bible Brawl.
Before I go to our next Kickstarter, I want to say, as a basically a general rule, I don't touch anything or even look at it, even on a personal level, that has to do with the virus, because most of it is a cash grab. This is slightly different, if only because this game already exists. This is Clinic Deluxe Edition, the COVID-19. They already had this expansion in the works. I know that they had they were working on this ahead of time. Clinic is done. I've already played, it's come through the office here. I played it. So this is an expansion. They added to it. In fact, I don't even think it says COVID-19 on the box.
Yeah, that's something else they added down here. They
basically turn it into a cooperative game, right? Like, cause what he's trying to say is he wanted to have something where you could be fighting all together against a virus, in this case, COVID-19. So I don't know, when you guys first talked about this on the news, I know that it kind of rubbed you the wrong way, but there wasn't a lot of context. Do you feel a little bit more comfortable based on what you've read now?
It's still a little weird to me. Like, for example, here they say 10 euros will be donated to the Institute for Biological Studies for each copy sold. Funds will not be taken from the proceeds of this campaign. That's like words, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that money's coming from somewhere. Is it coming from this company's pockets?
Right.
Then it's still coming from this campaign. You know what I mean? It's not like it's it's just it's being weird about specifically about where the money comes from. Even if it came from this campaign, why does that matter?
Right. I would think that would be a good thing. You're helping to contribute, towards the eradication of the disease. But I don't know. It's just odd.
That's with respect. It's not a ha ha ha. Or I mean, there's a lot. Yeah. There's some of these that I would be ashamed to put up on our screen. Frankly, some of the ones that have come across Kickstarter. So anyway. It's obviously something he added on to this. This is the expansion was already there. I played Clinic. It's a very hefty game. And if you like both building your own clinic and worrying about where the doctors park, you'll love it. That is not a joke.
I believe it.
But there's a good part of this game dedicated to how your doctors and patients can park around your clinic.
All right.
Hey.
So
all right.
Yeah, we have a copy. I actually had to pull it from the library because we're missing a piece from the game, which is unfortunate. When they sent the game, somehow we missed a tile. But
was it a parking lot piece or because you're not playing?
It's one of the 4 starting player tiles for the game.
Oh,
so
seems like that would be important.
If you like, I think if I could say, if you like, what's his name,
Lacerda
games, you'll like this. It really feels like a Lacerda game.
It looks like one.
Escape, roll and write. So when I first saw this, I used it instantly because it's kind of like, are you kidding me?
Yes.
Also,
I'm still there.
I like Queen a lot, but there's no question they use all their Kickstarters as an excuse to sell their other games.
Yes.
It's one of the most obvious uses I've seen any company do it. I mean, it's literally the first thing here. It's like, we have a new roll, right? But also, do you want to buy our regular Escape?
Right.
Like,
it is the literal first thing. Yes.
Yeah.
It's like,
there's a big red. There's a couple of big red flags to me about this. Number one is that it's a different designer. So that makes me think this was a roll and write that was already in the works, that they just shoved a theme that people knew about onto it. Number two is that I don't believe that it plays. Because the whole thing of Escape, right, is real-time frantic dice rolling cooperatively, where you're all rolling dice at the same time. I don't think this does any of that. So why is it Escape?
You're all using the same sheet,
right?
And I'll have to tell you, this is one of those times where I'm like, just play Escape.
Right.
Just play Escape.
It's over in 15 minutes, Because
you back it here. So, don't worry about it. You can get it.
Yeah.
And then Winter Kingdom has nothing to do with this game.
Oh.
That's really hilarious. Yeah.
Anyway, this might be fun. This might be cool. And then they added bonus stuff for the regular Escape game with this.
Yeah, Queenies.
Of course they did. Yeah. I mean, right.
Which,
I think my only red flag, really, this is fine, but my only red flag is what you said, Mike, about it not being from the same designer. I'd feel a lot better if it was.
Yeah.
From the same guy who did the original, And then I'd be like, all right, he came up with something new that inspired him with roll and writes and his original design. Feels a little cash grabby.
And I could be wrong, but I think that designer has designed other roll and writes. I may be wrong, but it's not like he's
the same guy. Oh, he works for a Porta, or actually he owns a Porta, I think.
Hey, so here's my review.
There you go.
Oh, I love Escape, folks. Don't get me. I mean, I really like it a lot.
I do too.
It's fantastic. It's fun. It's a 10-minute game. Like exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm going to play this. I don't even know why I'm talking about it.
I would play it. I really hope that it kind of does the IP justice, because I like Escape too.
Here's the good news though. If you're not sure, this is almost a guaranteed will show up after the Kickstarter somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Queen games are not that hard to get. So if you're unsure, just wait. Now, this one is interesting. Maharaja. This is a reprint of a game from Wolfgang Kramer and Michael Kiesling, which I want to say came out in 2005, somewhere around there. And this one's redeveloped by Simone Luciani. So that's that's like 3 amazing designers. And then I saw the cover and I was like, wait, what?
And you can add David Turczi on there. He did a solo mode for it too. So there's some heavy hitters in this game.
Well, David Turczi does a solo mode for every game. He's probably designing one for games that aren't even done yet.
He's doing one for the
Escape
Roll and Write.
Roll and Write already. Oh, come on.
Yeah. Ninja.
Fine.
All right, it was 2004, and it was a Spiel des Jahres nominee. I really enjoyed this game. It's essentially a race game where you're moving around the board and trying to build temples in these different things faster than everybody else. And they definitely, again, I don't know what it is about the cover. The cover's not, I'm not sold on it, but the other components, the player boards look cool. I love these action selection discs. They look cool. And I'm a huge fan of these pieces. They look really nice.
I like the cover too. I think it all looks really good.
The character tiles, every game is going to be different because you're using these different characters to move around the board in various ways. This was when I remember the first time I played this, I said, this feels different than the other Euro games. It just felt like it was something different. And so I was very pleased about that. And then it kind of faded away. And if Luciani's messing with it, he's good. Now, this is a Cranial Creations game. And I've seen a lot of comments. People are still pretty annoyed about the barrage components and things like that. But I do like Cranio games for the most part, so
I saw this. I thought it looked interesting. I like the new look. I like what they're doing with it, but I guess I just wish it was a better Kramer and Kiesling game than this one.
Oh, you didn't like it, Z? I haven't played it yet.
I do not like Maharaja at all. I rate this a 3. I went back and
looked.
A 3?
Really?
Wow.
Well, now I'm curious. I'm curious what I've rated it. I want to say I've rated it, how do you spell it?
The same exact way it sounds. Maharaja.
I rated it a...
Maharaja.
Oh, it brings up, it's already a separate entry. It brought up the...
Really?
The new one. I rated it an 8.5. So obviously I am way different than Z and have the better taste.
You're very different and you taste better, yes.
All right, so here's a game that's making a ton of money, 328,000 right now, and it's called, is that Euthia? Torment of Resurrection?
Yeah. Euthanasia,
Those words are weird together, but all right. So
I'm not sure what they mean.
In that category of yet another role-playing dungeon crawl, adventure, whatever game. And I know every time we say this, people get upset. I'm not meaning to say something negative about this, but it looks very similar to these other games. I'm looking for something that makes this, they call it an RPG. Right. Then it says here, it's 30 to 120 minutes per player. So we're playing a 4-player game straight out the gate.
8 hours. Yep, 8 hours.
So I'm telling you, I will be mean. This is so generic looking. I don't know what it is. Is there some sort of tool out there that I'm not aware of in which you show up, you just tell it you want a role-playing board game, and it gives you a random title, like blank, colon, blank of blank, and dumps out this? Because really, Euthia, Torment of Resurrection, this is random.
A video game, though? I think it's based on a video game.
Oh, really?
Oh,
I'm looking this up right now.
So I looked through this because I was trying to look for things I liked about it, right? I like how the tiles of the board look a lot. I like the idea of a crafting system, to collect things and craft your weapons.
Yeah.
But man, the art of the characters and monsters, it's like the same old monsters that you fight in every game. Like this dragon head here, this Faruga dragon, that literally could have come out of Dungeons and Dragons. It looks the exact same.
Right.
And
this is not a video game.
It's not. Man, it just bugs me. Why? But again,
how does it distinguish itself?
It makes people money. These stand out. Oh wait, here. Okay, so here's what makes it so unique. 5+ years of development.
Cool.
So.
Okay.
1,500 playtesting sessions. Okay. Open world RPG. Enormous replayability. Those are all things that all these things say. And then I love this one. 3+ perfectionists in the team.
There's 18 people on the team, but 3 of them are perfectionists.
And at least 4 of them were saboteurs.
This bugs me. This graphic right here. Why is it so unique? And then they literally put down the same things that are said about every single one of these. That doesn't make you unique. Well, I hope it's good. I'll play it, of course, probably. It depends. Although we're getting a lot of these in. The artwork is still tired and
I'm looking at this, and normally about these kinds of games, I give a lot of gruff, and I'm like, same old thing, blah blah blah. I guess I'll play it, and I would for the most part. This is actually one I won't play. This looks that generic. This looks like recycled artwork. Even this looks old. This
yeah, but again, it's making money. So what do you do?
It is making money.
I'll tell you what I do. I launch my own, wherein I find artwork that is not stolen.
Right.
Put up my own Kickstarter up under the name Lucius Gregory.
All right. Let's take a look at something that does look different. That's Forest Guardians Safeguard the Wilderness.
Here we go.
This is from, for some reason, it's from Shepherd Kit.
Mm-hmm.
Not showing in my screen here.
Uh-oh.
What is going on right now? Oh, you broke it.
There you go. There you go.
All right. Anyway, this is from Shepherd Kit, and the last game I played for them, I can't remember the name of it. What's it called?
Ocean Crisis.
Ocean Crisis. It's a very good cooperative game.
Really good.
Geared towards kids, but can be played by adults. It has phenomenally cool pieces, a really great theme, and this one looks like it is the sequel to that, essentially.
Correct. Yeah.
I love how this looks.
Great.
Yeah.
The pieces are crystal clear. They look like, look at the trees. I don't know what to say. This makes me happy to see this. And I'm hoping this is a good game. It looks, it hits all the buttons. I like the art. I like the pieces. The game itself looks like a solid cooperative game. The theme is solid. You know, who's going to argue against this theme? I'm sorry, the internet exists. Never mind. No. But
no, I agree. Everything the last game we just looked at was not. This is. Right. It looks like someone's creation, like one person or a team's vision. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's something about it that is personable. I can get behind this, even if I didn't like it, even if it wasn't my type of thing. I'd be like, this is somebody's idea of what they want this to be. Cool, not for me. That's fine. But some things just look recycled, generic. This is not that.
Actually, he mentioned here that he has a Dice Tower seal of approval, but I'll say if I'm talking for kids, I think I might even say excellence for kids. That's how good it is.
No, I'm a huge fan of Shepherd Kit. I think that they are exactly what we were saying was the antithesis of the last one, which is that this has a unique aesthetic. Their games have a unique aesthetic. I like that they focus on indigenous flora and fauna from their Taiwan. They're a Taiwanese company, and their stuff is just well developed, well designed. The components, because I've played Ocean Crisis, I've played the Frontline Defense, which was kind of like a small card game based off of that. And they made a series of other games like Numeracy, I think they were called. There were 3 of them in a series, and I played one of those. And they're just classy games, right? You could tell they take time. There's care. There's thought behind it. There's passion. You know what I mean? And there's something to be said for that. Like you said, Z, they're a vision of this small team, I would assume. So I'm pulling. This is a company you kind of pull for, right? You want them to do well, and hopefully the game is good because their other games have been.
That's basically what I said, Mike, except I did not say antithesis or indigenous. All right? We get it. We get it. You have a good vocabulary. Let's move on. All right? I can't deal with this guy.
My word.
Let's talk about this.
I need the quarantine to be over so we can release the bear over there. All right. Mothership 2nd edition and booster pack. So Mothership has actually flown across our desk, though I don't believe any of us have played it yet.
I heard Mike unboxed it.
I unboxed it. I started unboxing it 3 weeks ago. I should be done. Let's see. In the next, there's a lot of stuff, man. There's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
Wow.
I have a feeling. I have a feeling for certain people, for certain gamers, this is going to be like the Mothership. It's going to be the Motherload. It's going to be everything that they want in a game. I'm not that gamer. I don't think to me, it was overwhelming. The aesthetic didn't appeal to me. The components didn't appeal to me. But again, I think that's maybe specific to me. I'll be interested to see, Tom, if you get a chance to look at it and play it, or Z, or Roy, or it just.
I think it's hilarious that you said Z there, but yes.
Nah, bro. Nah.
I might
look like.
Oh, look, Mike, your unboxing's on there.
There you go.
Woo! It's that often you get an unboxing on a Kickstarter page. Yeah. Woo! You've made it. All right. Well, that's Mothership. All right, folks, we're only halfway through. We got more games to talk about, but we're going to take a short, well, not quite so short, break here for our contributors, and we'll be back.
This week's Spotlight is brought to you by Highborn Games. Welcome to Dawnshade. You are a Patarkan, a small, some would say, insignificant race of creatures who dwell in the corners of the Glenwood Forest, away from most of the world and all its goings-on. Your race possesses the ability to glide short distances. Compared to other creatures of Dawnshade, this is about as useful as a powderless boom shot. Be that as it may, you have been called by the High Eldress of your village to form a kinship tasked with protecting Kimberbow, a flex-and-tailed Patarkan you've known since you were very young. She is said to be the one who, with the aid of the Watchers, will restore balance to Dawnshade. One thing is certain, you and your fellow adventurers are about to embark on a quest like no other. The objective of Dawnshade is to defeat the major threats causing imbalance in the world. Each time you play Dawnshade, a new adventure awaits. You and your kinship will be exploring the world, completing events to earn rewards, visiting outposts to help you on your way, encountering Watcher temples to gain favor from the Watchers, and facing battles that will test your strategy. The choices you make and how well you complete challenges and develop your character will determine how prepared you are to face the major threat once it's revealed. For more information, please go check out the campaign, which is now on Kickstarter.
Hey folks, and welcome to FOMO, the segment where I take a look at a game that's seeking crowdfunding right now. Maybe you have a fear of missing out on it, and maybe you do too, and we'll go ahead and take a look together. Now today, I'm going to take a look at an adventure game where we're going to be pirate captains. Today, I'm going to take a look at Sea of Legends. Sea of Legends is an open-world adventure game on the high seas, with the narrative elements being driven by an easy-to-use app with over 400 unique stories. Every game will be different. Each pirate captain will start with a lover and a nemesis who will have their own storylines as well. The first player to gain 10 notoriety wins the game. However, each game you play, you will also select NPC factions who will also be working towards their own goals for victory. Turns in Sea of Legends are easy to use, as you can do, well, anything. Okay, not anything, but a wide range of options. You can go on an adventure involving your captain, your lover, or even your nemesis. You can visit a port, purchase a new ship, hire crew, patronize a tavern, learning of rumors, and maybe even bury some ill-gotten treasure. Or if you're feeling lucky, you can go out and attack. NPCs will also move towards their goals on their turn and will be controlled by the current NPC controller player each round. But if they encounter a captain along their way, they'll be sure to attack. The game plays 1 to 4 players in about 2 hours. Alright, so what happened? Sea of Legends. I am just going to cut to the chase. This is an automatic FOMO for me. There is no question here. From the first time I played it, I was in love with it. Now, they did only send me 2 captains, 2 factions, so I still have only seen a piece of the game. And the app that they gave me, which I'll cover in a second, only had limited options. It's still a preview. So yes, this is a FOMO. I have a fear of missing out on getting the entire experience of this game. So the first thing to talk about is the app, because I know some folks are adverse to apps in board games. I will say that's not really an issue here, because the app is really just driving the narrative element of your captain, your lover, and your nemesis, and it's bringing a freshness to every time you play. Everything else takes place on the game board. And so this is a board game that just has an app that kind of augments it. So no fears there. That did not detract from this at all. The other thing is this is a sandbox adventure game, which for me immediately draws comparisons to another game, Western Legends, a game that I really do enjoy, but I enjoy this a lot more. This felt like an adventure, and this really did feel like I could do whatever I want, however I want it. The other thing that's nice in here is the NPC factions, because they have their own goals. And at the end of each round, the player that's currently controlling them is got to move them towards their goals, but they could shift that a little bit in their favor. And that really lends to some interesting decisions, both for them and for the other players at the table, because while this isn't a cooperative game, sometimes you will need to band together with your fellow pirates to try to stop the NPCs from winning the game, which in our games happen more often than not. Overall, this is a beautiful game. It plays easy. I think I learned this game in 5 minutes. And it just really does feel like an adventure on the high seas every single time you play. So if that's a game you're looking for, something a little narrative driven, choose your own adventure, and that you don't feel like you're tied into just one path, this is a game worth taking a look at. I know they are currently well over their funding, but honestly, I'd like to see them blow through every stretch goal that they have for this one, because I want every stretch goal that they have. So if it interests you, go ahead and go check out their Kickstarter page. Back them if you like what you see, and I look forward to seeing you folks next episode.
Hey folks, welcome back to our Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be heading off to Egypt. We're also going to be trying to please the Maharaja, as well as setting sail into the Sea of Nadia, heading off on a quest to save Dawnshade, and we might even be taking part in a revolution. All right, let's get to it. All right, first up, let's have a look at Kemet, Blood and Sand. Faith, magic, and war are one and the same. Only one god will dominate in the end. An endless ocean of sand crossed only by the rushing waters of the Nile. Ancient Egypt is a dangerous place after all, ruled by mighty gods. Vast though this domain may be, the time for sharing power is long over. The time for blood and the eternal glory of battle has come. Horus and Odette have donned their gleaming arms, ready for war. Basset and Anubis have summoned their faithful, swelling the ranks of their armies. Sobek's forge burns daily and night, crafting weapons for the eager to die in his name. Become an Egyptian god. Throw open the gates of your city as your troops march forth, singing the song of war, and claim your rightful place as master of the Black Lands of Kemet. So it's important to note with Kemet that I did not actually get to play this one. The prototype wasn't ready. I just had a look at the new rule book and all the art assets and so forth. And what I saw looks super intriguing. Kemet is one of my favorite games. So this version looks very streamlined, and the fact that it has the Tau City expansion with it, really major thumbs up. I really look forward to seeing this one be published and brought to light. And next up we have the Sea of Nadia. In Sea of Nadia, you take on the role of a fearless and, dare I say, fierce captain, roaming the seas and hunting for treasure in the mysterious waters of Nadia. During your quest for gold, you will also be collecting resources, uncover hidden treasures, and even gaining some special abilities. Work together with your fellow captains and then steal from them while their back is turned. But you will also need to keep an eye on the waters. This is where the legendary Kraken awaits. Will you be able to escape its watchful eye? In the end, let the compass guide your every action. Do you have what it takes? So what's so interesting about this one is that you are moving around the board, picking up resources, but those resources are going to go back into the world once you've collected enough to get certain chests and things like that. And there's also the compass points around the board, which can really change up how the game plays as well. I really found this one intriguing, and I played with my family a few times, and everyone really had a good time. So I like the mechanics of it. It just plays really fast, and it is really an interesting concept how all those resources go back into the world after you're done using them, and you get to choose where to put them. And next up we have Dawnshade. Welcome to the world of Dawnshade. You are Patarkan, a small, some would say insignificant race of creatures who dwell in the corner of the Galeswood Forest, away from most of the world and all its goings-on. Your race possesses the ability to glide short distances. Compared to other creatures of the Dawnshade, this is about as useful as a powerless boom shot. But that as it may, you have been called by the High Eldress of your village to form a kinship, tasked with protecting Kimber Bow, a flaxen-tailed Patarkan you've known since you were very young. She is said to be the one who, with the aid of the Watchers, will restore the balance to Dawnshade. One thing is certain, you and your fellow adventurers are about to embark on a quest like no other. So Dawnshade was the spotlight ad this week. The thing about this game that I really enjoyed, it's a huge quest and you're working together to save this world and so forth. But I really like the dexterity challenges in this game. There's like spinning tops, you're like flicking your chips into the arena, things like that. It really has a lot of different types of dexterity games based on what you're doing, and it's all very thematic to the game. Really worth checking out. And next we have Reggae Revolution. In the year 2266, the world is controlled by a police state. Peace, love, unity, and respect have all been made illegal. Finding the relics of reggae in the ruins of the old world, a circle of youths rediscover the power of music. They plan to coordinate an enormous underground dance party to return the message of nonviolent resistance back to the people. Now, Reggae Revolution is not a Kickstarter game. This is a done and published game that they did a preview for. The thing is that it's a cooperative deck builder, and even though it's got a quirky theme to it, it really does work well in how you combine and work together to gain all the right symbols when you need them throughout the game. And next we have Maharaja. In Maharaja, players take the role of priests who travel different cities in India, building statues and shrines dedicated to their favorite gods to expand their worship. To do so, they will be assisted by several characters with different abilities. Each year, the Maharaja, the great king of India, will change his residence and players will receive rewards according to their god's worship value. At the beginning of each year, players will plan their actions in a secret phase to be played simultaneously. At the end of the 7th year, or when a player builds the 7th statue, the game ends. The player with the most prestige points is going to win the game. Now, this is a revamp of the original game. A lot of new artwork, new pieces, new components. All the core gameplay is here, but just done in a much beautiful setting, so to say. I was really impressed with the different artwork and the direction they went with the different pieces and so forth. So if you like this game, this upgrade is really worth having. Now, the Kirby's did a preview as well this time. It is for a game called Gnome Elf Troll. So let's jump over and see what they had to say.
In Gnome Elf Troll, you are wizards and witches competing to brew the greatest magic potion. You'll have 3 ingredients that can be sown into your garden: magic beans, enchanted apples, and cursed pumpkins. Gnome Elf Troll has a rock, paper, scissors mechanic where gnomes chase off elves, elves chase off trolls, and trolls chase off gnomes. All of these creatures also have a special ability that we'll explain later in this video. The game will end immediately, and you'll win if you have a garden that is capable of producing 10 of the same type of crop. Alternatively, if a player cannot place a garden tile, the winner is the player who has the highest yielding crop at that time.
Hi guys, welcome to our first ever Walk and Talk.
We are Randy and Helen.
Yes, we are. And today we're talking about Gnome Elf Troll, which is a really adorable, lightweight family filler game where you lay tiles and it's kind of a rock, paper, scissors mechanic.
Yeah.
We think it's super cute. I taught my 11-year-old in like 5 minutes, played in 15. Super cute.
It's quick, yeah, but it's got enough of a bite to it that I think even gamers can use it as like a filler game or a warm-up game to the night, you know, just waiting for people to come in for the night. It's got a lot of just this, you know, point counterpoint thing, right? So you do one thing and then they're kind of countering you. But since when you play multiplayer, you can't always counter each other back and forth.
Right.
So it's just got that movement of like, okay, well, I'm really close to victory, but now I'm, you know, a little bit
not close to victory.
Not close to victory, right? So it's just that I'm up and then I'm down, I'm up and I'm down. I just really enjoyed that part of it, really.
It's a cute little game. Check it out if it sounds interesting.
I think it's worth checking out.
Yep.
So, my pick of the week. Well, you know, there's so many games here that I really enjoyed. But I'm going to give it up for Dawnshade because all those dexterity challenges in that questing environment was just a ton of fun. And I even played it solo, which I don't do a lot of in games, but I had just so much fun with that game that I tried all the different things you can do. So it's definitely one to look at if you like that style of play. But the questing elements and the story elements, the choose your own adventure bits in this game also add so much. It's very heavily themed and story driven. All right, folks, if any of these games look like they might be of interest to you, please go check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Yeah, we're back. I'm so excited. Woo! Thank you, and I can talk. And Mark got almost killed by a golem or something. That man needs to watch where he's going. All right. I said at the beginning that I put those dice on to troll Z, but when I really want to troll him, I show him our next Kickstarter, which is the Green Bandana Game, which if it was not a Kickstarter, I would have actually bought this and given it to Z as a gift.
Why? Why?
It's made $21,000. It is a roll and move game that's a bandana that apparently, I guess now you can use it as a mask.
Yeah.
And these pictures make it look like it has animated stuff on it. It does not.
I mean, come on, it's a bandana. That would be really fancy pants.
After a long day of chopping logs in the backyard, and I've got the bandana to catch all of the sweat from my hard toil and labor, there's nothing I would rather do than rinse that bandana out, lay it out on the table, and invite my loved ones and friends over to play a nice game.
Right.
Gather around my sweat-filled bandana friends, and let's roll some dice.
I hope I didn't blow my nose on it.
It's green, so you wouldn't know.
Maybe it's because it's pushing Washington State, or something. I'm glad that for them that it's succeeding, but
sure,
it doesn't seem like it should be.
No.
Whatever. I thought it was hilarious.
It seems like the kind of thing that was like a prize in a box of cereal back in the day. You know, it's like that level of game.
Yeah. Here's a free game.
I just think it's funny how they don't really they don't really go into the game. I looked through it. I watched the video.
Right.
They talk about that it's a bandana and that it's cool and that celebrates their state, you know, and that's neat. But fits in your pocket, has a carrying pouch. But they don't really talk about the game a whole lot. I don't.
Does it look like it's a game, dude?
Yeah. I'm still not sure why you would give me this. I like bandanas, but I don't think you know that. Is it because of a Yeti? I don't.
You seem like the guy who would wear a bandana on your head or something if you didn't have a hat.
I used to a lot.
All right. Secret Cabal Gaming Podcast are part of the Dice Tower Network. I like these guys a lot, so I just thought I would point them out here. Also, if you like board game promos, they got a few cool ones down here. And, of course, Gloomhaven scenarios. I try not to look at the Cupid promo there of Chris. That's gross.
No one needs to see that. No one needs to see that.
I do want these troll pantry cards, though, for Empires of the North.
Yeah, that's cool.
That instant get a resource from two different things, I like that a lot. So I wouldn't mind having those. I don't know how that works. Do you just stick those in a deck?
I don't know.
Let me take a look here. Those are in the common deck, I assume, Tom.
I would think,
Got it. Okay. That makes more sense.
No, wait. Right. No, those are for... There is no common deck. These are for the Empires of the North.
Right, that's right, yeah. It's not for Imperial Settlers.
Then I don't know.
Maybe you can stick a couple of these in your deck. I don't know. That's cool. Yeah. And that Looking Glass card for Unmatch is pretty neat. Like, look. That's like actually a creepy card. You know, looking at the... I don't know. Anyway, these guys are great. Check out their podcast, and there's promos. So let's move on.
It's a cool
Railroad Ink Challenge. So this is the green and yellow versions. There already is the red and blue versions. Now, I've played one of these solo. I played it in my solo marathon. I don't remember if it was red or blue. Is there a major difference between the red and blue ones?
They had variants.
Yeah.
With some dice included that would allow you to, if you included those dice, play a variant.
And I want to say that the red one was more like aggressive. It had a volcano die. I think that was more destructive, whereas the blue maybe didn't have that kind of a vibe. I think they were trying to go, like you said, a little bit with a different theme for each one variant-wise.
So that seems to be the case here. These seem to be the same game with minor variants, which makes me wonder, why would you want to own all of them? Why not just buy the extra dice?
You can't, I think.
No.
Well, they have a place here where they say, why would you want to own all of them, right? There's a specific section in there that talks about that.
Right.
Why own multiple copies right here? And then they talk about like a Railroad Ink draft, I guess. I
seem to remember this was a complaint even with the first two games, that people were saying that there were some complaints about the product model. And I don't think that complaint is going to go away with this. I think if anything, it's going to intensify because
it's doing really well. They sold 7,000 of these. So Z, you like this one, right?
I liked it all right. Yeah, I thought it was a little it's a little fiddly. It's a little smudgy and sort of hard to make it look nice.
That's what I was going to say. I thought it was fine, but putting the railroads and the roads on, it just was kind of annoying to draw those two different. That sounds like a stupid complaint, but
but
they don't look pretty. The markers are fat, so your stuff doesn't look nice on there.
Right.
I would almost rather just draw tiles and play like a tile laying game on a slightly bigger board, and then figure out the best way to connect stuff. And then the game wasn't that gripping. When I compare to another game that came out around the same time, Welcome To, that game feels super fresh and interesting. This one just not quite as much. But I get why people like this one.
The aesthetic is nice, the packaging is nice, but I agree. It was to me didn't do enough to distinguish itself from the 800 other roller rights or flipping rights that came out at around the same time.
I do like these little mini expansions though, like Pluckman, Tetramino.
Those are cute.
That was the one thing that got my attention in this. Yeah.
I don't think you can buy just those. They're just stretch goals, but that makes it tempting to back just to get them.
Right.
So, well, here it says it's a game that surprised me by its depth by roll and write standards. That must be you, said that, Z.
I think they were quoting you. I think somewhere it said Tom. I'm serious. I think somewhere it said Tom Vassell.
Well,
which I thought it was really. I thought it was funny when I read that because I thought to myself, man, that's like such a backhanded compliment from Tom. But but maybe it's not you. I thought it was you. Why did I assume that?
Because
I did see it looked like they're doing a digital version of that. I could see it as being a really good app. If it did, I thought it showed a digital thing coming up. That would
be great.
Right,
a digital app for this, which is down here at the bottom. Yeah, Founders Edition. Yeah. That would be fantastic. It won't be messy. I don't have to worry about it. Being problematic on my little tiny dry erase board. Sure, I'm in.
That is a long Kickstarter for a dice game, though. Wow. All right, next one is Send It.
Send It.
A mountain biking board game. Now, folks, maybe you could tell me. I don't get it. Is this like a biking term? Send It?
Must be. It must be. I've never heard of it, though.
I'm not a cyclist.
Send It is more about like if you want to give someone something, but you don't want to drive all the way to their house or bike, in this case, you can send it to them using the United States Postal Service.
Sorry. This guy did a 15-foot drop on his mountain bike, so he said, click here to see the video. I hadn't done that yet. I apologize, folks.
Not safe for mountain biking.
Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone.
Wait, what was it? I missed it. I wasn't looking at the screen. Let me click myself.
You didn't see the carnage?
I'm looking.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Look away.
it's not that bad,
not
but
that
still,
bad. No,
it
I'm
makes
looking at it. He's okay. Oh man, yeah, that's not okay.
No.
Why?
Oh, I'm sorry. You heard us say that. What clicked it anyway? So I don't want to hear nothing from you.
Right.
Anyhow, I don't know if this game's any good or not because the guy's a mountain biker said, "Oh, he came up with this idea." It doesn't look like just a roll and write style game, right? It looks like there's stuff in it.
Yeah. There's a golden burrito in it for some reason. I don't quite understand.
I'm a little confused. I don't think the graphic design's very good, unfortunately.
This looks very homebrewed to me. And that doesn't necessarily mean bad, but this looks like I was laid up injured for a while and decided to come up with a game because I was bored. I don't get the sense that this is something that has been in development for a long time. That, you know what I mean? I like unique themes, and I don't have anything against a mountain biking themed game. I think that could be compelling, but this doesn't really strike me as being particularly interesting.
So according to our chat, send it is what you say when you go downhill or when you jump.
Okay.
So I'm gonna do that when I leave work today. I'm gonna run out there and be like, "Send it," and then I'm out. And then I'm gonna trip and fall.
Right.
All right.
Pulp Invasion.
Call an ambulance on you.
Right.
Go ahead.
Pulp Invasion is from AV Studio Games, Ludi Booster. They've done quite a few of this. Their 11th project. Yeah. This is games designed by Albin Viard, which didn't he design that?
He designed Clinic, but this is just his company. This game is not by him. It's by Todd Sanders.
Got it. So this is a pulp fiction, sci-fi, looking game. Like, ooh. Although to be fair, I say when I don't like the graphic design, I do like the graphic design on these cards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like.
So
it looks really solid.
So this is basically a part 2 of a game that was already released. He came out, he being the designer, Todd Sanders, does a lot of solitaire games, and he did a lot of print and play stuff on BGG to begin with, and he's since become more of a quote unquote published designer. And there's a game called Pulp Detective that I think has a similar, maybe not the exact same mechanics, but similar mechanics. That's just a solitaire game. And I've played Pulp Detective. I have it. And it's interesting. It's a little fiddly for me. And I don't know if this is going to maybe mitigate some of that fiddliness. It looks like there's some significant differences, but I need to read the rule book and get a better idea. I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic because I do like the look. I like this kind of pulp, old school aesthetic that there is to it. And I've liked some of his games, some of the designer's games in the past. So I'm cautiously optimistic. I just need to learn more about it.
All right. Cool. All right. This is a pretty big Kickstarter here. Sea of Legends, 313,000. The designer is Zach Wiseman, who is, I believe, the son of Jordan Wiseman, known for BattleTech, Mage Knight, and many other games. This is a big piratey style game with miniatures and an app involved. In fact, the app seems to be a pretty big chunk of it. I've seen some people complaining that it has an app in general, right? But that ship has sailed, folks. The apps are here. What's weird though is this came out right close to the Plaid Hat one just being released.
Yeah.
But this one, I will say, this one looks very different than that one does.
So
yeah,
what's Forgotten Waters? That one?
Forgotten Waters, right? Forgotten Waters is a co-op game. This is not. This is a choose-your-own-adventure style game. The app, the thing is, I'm sure this game might be good, but that app needs to be solid for this to really work.
Yes.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a great look.
It does.
Doesn't this art look like the same guy who did Sheriff of Nottingham?
In
fact, this Captain Cesar here is the Sheriff of Nottingham. He left his job, and he is now on the seas as a pirate.
I could see that.
Got it.
Captain Khan here has left Conan Comics and is now here. And I think that's deliberate. I think these people are looking, that look like archetypes. Sure. And then you have these lovers, nemesis. The miniatures look cool. The whole thing looks great.
It does.
And people who were at Gamma this year who played it, who I actually trust their opinions, told me they liked it a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and
I've heard a lot of.
I had more than one person tell me that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
I've heard a lot of pre-release buzz, so I'm. It looks wonderful. I'm with you, Tom. I think that there's a lot that rests on this app, and so I hope that it fulfills the promise that it shows in this campaign, because I also think that this campaign brings a lot of feeling of confidence. It looks like it's very professionally done. It looks super slick. Everything about it looks good. So cautiously optimistic on this one.
Well, here's the thing about the app. The Wisemans were involved with that pre-painted miniature game where you played on the app. I forget the name of it.
The Yoho game?
No. These big miniatures, and you'd fought with them, but you attacking each other. It was it was a super hot game like 3 Gen Cons ago.
I know what game you're talking about. Yeah, something arena maybe.
Someone will tell us in the comments. All right.
Gosh, I don't remember right now. Arcana, something Arcana.
That's it. Yeah, that's right.
Oh yeah, you're right. Something Arcana. I still can't get the whole name. Anyway,
Roy's freaking out because Roy knows it, but that's all right.
All right.
There you go. Golem Arcana.
Golem Arcana. Right. Yeah. And that app was pretty cool working. So again, same people, I think. All right, A War of Whispers, Dark Alliances and Collector's Edition. So War of Whispers was a game from, I want to say Game Salute, it's Starling Games. Starling Games, and that a lot of people really liked, although I liked it too, although my complaint was that their quote-unquote deluxe version was what I would consider a normal game to look like. So now they have even a nicer collector's version, which it better be really nice. These plastic agents are fine and loyalty tokens and stuff, but they do have 3D printed pieces. Well, that makes sense because I 3D printed stuff out for this game.
Okay.
I thought this game just came out. Maybe I'm a little bit behind the curve, but
it did just come out. It came out, I want to say around Essen time or something like that. It was so I could see it coming out, and there's enough demand. And also, I did a review, and Shut Up and Sit Down did a review, and so there's a lot of buzz about the game in general. Sure. It's a really solid game. It's a worker placement area control style game that I found to be very interesting, very aggressive back and forth. And so a nicer version of it is cool. And this is one of the few games where I would say there's an expansion. I'm on board because I think the game could use a little more, just use a little bit more of a punch. That would make me happy.
It's like one that's always intrigued me. Being a fan of Everdell, this was kind of like the next game that Starling Games put out around the same time. Yep. I never played it, but it looks cool. I always like the look of that cover, found it intriguing. So this is one I'd like to play at some point. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I agree.
This is not a repeat. Adapt Tabletop. So
are we going to go down this road again? We're going to do this, huh?
Okay. Well, again, the last one made $1 million.
I know.
This one has a name that just saddens me. How do you say that? Adapt
Tabletop.
Hate it. Okay. Now, I will say, this is the second one. This is literally the same thing as what we've seen before, except that it's built differently. And if this is a thing for you, and I still don't get this, I still don't understand why people would want to do this. I still think this is a problem. But this one looks like it's better quality than the last one. Mm-hmm. Now, why you want to build a table that you then attach your drinks to, though, that is... What? That feels like
I agree.
Joke.
That one.
That feels like a joke. Like I grab my drink and pull the whole table.
Yeah. This one looks sturdier than the other one. So I think what you should do is you should get yourself a good table. Then you have this one on top of it. Then you take the one that's not as sturdy and put that on top of this one. So you've got a multiple tier system. And then you get that game that we were talking about earlier, the villain game or whatever it was, a victim game that has 4 levels. And you put that. And then on top of that, you do some Rhino Hero Super Battle. And you just keep going until it never ends.
Until it never ends. Got it.
I don't
the colored versions of this look terrible. Did you scroll past that already? There it is. Look at that.
Oh,
look at that. That is
awful.
horrible.
I think the normal version looks fine.
Go blue. There's a lot of Michigan fans who are like, wow, I gotta get this table right now.
This is, again, such a weird concept. One of the reasons I like the table that I have here and these nice tables is that they're recessed. I like the recess thing. Why would I want to make the game higher? I'll have to stand up to see the board.
After you clip your can of Coke in, you have to say, send it!
All right, let's move on. Again, I will say this, though. As much as I'm like, this is silly and stuff, I realize that I'm obviously missing it because the first one made a million, and this one made, it has 2,600 backers. So there's obviously a demand for this. We'll be making a Dice Tower one soon. It's going to be a Dice Tower that stands on top of another Dice Tower.
You know what you do is it doesn't even have legs. You set the table on top of your Coke cans.
The Coke cans are the legs of the table. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
And then you have 4 holes in the side. Right.
You can stick a straw on the table.
We'll call it a Coke tabletop.
All right. Tribune. Now, Tribune is an amazing game from Claus. Hans. Claus. All right. His name's covered up by the thing there. Anyway, it's an amazing game. It's
the guy who did the German voting game. Just say that.
Right.
Sure. Okay. Right. Democker.
Yeah.
And here's the guys from Spielworks, and they're singing about the game. And so I am really, really pleased that they, along with Stronghold / Indie Game Studios, are bringing this game back. It's a phenomenally cool game. There's a lot of really neat aspects to it. And when I looked at it, I'm not going to get rid of my version I have currently.
You don't like the look?
The look of this new one is okay. I really like the look of the last one.
Right.
And I don't get the last one had this big board where like you looked in, it's all the little people walking around, the thing. And I don't like the cover, that big hand there. That's and I don't like this statuesque background. It's okay, but this is like I get the same feelings I got when they remade Colosseum.
I was just going to bring that up. Not every time is a second edition better.
Right.
Yeah, and it's not like Spielworks is known for their components either. Their stuff is usually fine, and Tribune was fine. Okay, but since you can't get Tribune easily, I'm glad this is back. I will say this isn't blowing the doors off. This is 34,000. I'm telling everyone this is a really good game. I love Tribune. I love the fact you play some cards and you have to play more cards than somebody else or a higher number than they did. So it's a nice cyclical thing. So if I play a total of 11, I could beat Mike's total of 7, but he could play 3 1s and beat me because he has 3 cards to my 2. Things like that.
That's cool. That's cool.
That's a good mechanism. If you take control of these different groups, and then you have to do various things to win the game. You're like racing to complete a bunch of different goals. Or you can play the way I prefer, which is just different things are worth various amounts of points.
Yeah.
I don't know if the expansion's in here. I think it is. It's hard to tell.
It says with expansion content and all new elements in one box. It says that at the top. So I am surprised that Maharaja is doing so well, and yet this is at 34,000. And not that that's bad, but that's not close to what Maharaja is doing.
I'm telling you,
I do think the cover. It's the cover. I mean, everyone looks at that and they say, "Talk to the hand." That's the issue. You just can't get past it.
Wow. Also, ever since we went over the Secret Cabal Kickstarter, Mike has adopted some of their joking tactics.
I'm trying to be Steve here. Yeah, I'm trying to channel my inner Steve.
Ooh, it's working.
So this Kickstarter says that it's going to be only available here. No retailers. It's Kickstarter only.
Wow.
It's also $70, which is a lot for essentially a Euro game. I don't think it's that bad at pricing wise. I don't know. I like it. I can recommend the game highly. I like the guys who run Indie Boards and Cards and Spielworks. I know those guys. They're really nice guys. I like hanging out with them when we meet them at like 1 or 2 conventions over the course of the year. It's just that this doesn't look like a 2020 game.
Yeah, it's true. That is true.
All right. Well, okay, we're going to go downhill from here. Hang on.
Here we go. This is what I've been waiting for.
Acquisition. A board game inspired by the game of Acquire. Okay. I don't even know if this is like legal on this one.
Yeah.
But this is a prime example of people being inspired by a game. Acquire is a very good game. And making it worse. That's the board?
That looks so bad. Like so I almost feel like we're being punked.
I agree. The only thing I can say about this board is I guess when you put out a tile, it can go in 2 locations instead of 1.
4.
4. Oh, you're right. 4.
Yeah.
But why is it hexes? The original Acquire was squares. So they made it hexes because hexes are cooler. They picked a cool font.
That's not a cool font, Tom. You take that back immediately.
Nothing cool about any of this.
I'll tell you, one job this cat never had was graphic designer. Go back up a little bit. Go back up.
Yeah.
Right there. Blam! Bang! You put that on your resume, and you now own a bridge.
When I saw the title of this, I was actually pretty interested. I was like, oh, okay, a game based on Acquire. I wouldn't call it Acquisitions because I don't need Hasbro coming after me.
Right.
But yeah, this is unfortunate. But it's raised 10,000. Oh wait, it's from 81 people. Oh, never mind. Oh, that's fishy. I didn't see the 81 people.
Super fishy. I mean, there's nothing about this that it sets off so many alarms.
So how's that work? 81 people?
Oh, because look, all these original game, 1 backer, 600. And this one here, 2 people pledged 410 and 5 people pledged 250. Really? That's fishy. This is not like a famous person who people know. I'm suspicious. What other games has this guy done?
Lloyd? Oh, he's well known.
Yeah,
he did a game called
Mega Acquire. Mega Acquisitions.
Wait, this is the 5th time. So he started with Mega Acquire, then Mega Acquisitions, then Mega Acquisitions / expansion, then Mega Acquire 2, an expansion, and now just Acquisitions. Come on, everybody. Yeah. Boo! I'm not ashamed that we called this out at all. This is baloney. Someone's being tricky here.
Next
I get that he likes Acquire.
Tiny Epic Acquire.
All right, that's a good transition. Tiny Epic Pirate.
How do you know? Wow, is it on cue?
All right, so this is $500,000. Obviously, I think they could say Tiny Epic nonsense and it would fund at this point. I don't mean it to disparage this game. I'm just saying that their company has acquired this very strong following. 11,000.
Acquired
it. Mega acquired it.
This guy's about to launch another Kickstarter coming after you, man.
All right. Anyhow, Pirates is hot this year. This is like the 5th pirate game I've seen. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize this logo was moving here.
Yeah, it's cool. It's neat. Yeah. I like the half a wheel there making the C. That's neat.
Yeah, it is cool.
I will assume this is a good game. My only worry about this particular one is that in the past, they've kind of always got me on board with something cool, like the bullet dice from Tiny Epic West and the mechs from Tiny Epic Mechs and the items from, the other ones. This one has little plastic pirate ships. Well, woohoo do. I've seen those before.
Yeah. I'm
not sold by nothing in this looks different. It looks like a tiny pirate game.
Right.
Yeah. I'm backing this because I've got the other Tiny Epic games. I'm being that very, very honest there. But I do like pick up and deliver. And so I'm hopeful that this will be a nice pick up and deliver. I am with you though, Tom. I do wish that there was more of a hook there, something that was making me go, okay, this is what sets this one apart. I haven't seen that yet, but I'm still, except for the ghost ship. I am kind of excited about the ghost ship that you haven't got to yet.
What ghost ship?
Yeah, there's a ghost ship that makes me right there. That looks
I'm
good.
bored here. Ooh, I like that.
That looks good to me. The other things looked a little generic, but this looks good.
Ooh, I do like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm liking the. I think the expansion looks cooler than the game.
Yeah. The Flying Dutchman. Yes, I like it.
Alrighty, 2 more, folks. We're almost done here. Hang on. Shale. Is it Shale?
Sure.
Sure. It's actually pronounced sure.
Pronounced sure.
No, all right. Now there's another one that's made almost 200,000, but it's not funded because they need 328,000. So I'll give them that. Well, I'll give them that they're asking for what they need, right?
Yeah.
Although it's kind of fascinating that we're looking at a game here called Hell, essentially, and the backers are 1666 at this point. All right, and 13 days to go. What? All right. So anyhow,
what are you doing to us?
I don't know if I can deal with this.
That's right.
Okay, so I'll say this. Earlier, we were kind of making fun of that dungeon crawl. It looks super generic. This looks a little less generic.
Yeah.
This has a different feel to it. Yes, it kind of goes on that whole doom and gloom thing, but I don't know. I like a lot of the look of this.
I'll tell you, if you put those 2 games in front of me, this one I would at least consider playing. It does have a little bit more that sets it apart. I do think that it kind of has. I think I've brought this up before, so I'm not like trying to beat this dead horse, but it has that. Now I'm going to forget the name of the video game. There's a video game that this is set in space. Dead Space or Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, this reminds me of that quite a bit, and I did like that game. I liked that look, and so this kind of evokes that.
This looks like Massive Darkness.
Okay. Yeah, and there's that, that whole let's be super gross with all the bad guys that are super gross. Yeah. I do like that these miniatures go together to build this city. That's kind of cool.
That's neat. Yeah, that's really kind of cool.
Yeah, that ties back to kind of like the fun words of putting those minis together.
Yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm more interested in this one. Is this their first? Yeah, this is their first game, man. A lot of these guys that make their first game, I'm always really nervous about that. I'll tell you what, though, if this was the kind of game I liked, then the years 2017 plus would be like the greatest time of my life. You'll never run out of it.
They're everywhere, aren't they? You're right.
All right, and finally, Frenemy Pastry Party. Now, what's weird about this game is I'm not getting the frenemy part. If they just called it Pastry Party, I think it would have worked.
Yeah.
It has
is there take that? Is there take that to it? Because then I could see the frenemy thing.
Maybe. I'm interested in this a lot, actually.
I love the art. I love the art.
The card, like the pictures of these pastries is amazing.
Yeah.
They are.
The fruit looks nice. Yeah, everything is a very pretty look to it. Yeah.
The iconography looks good. I like the theme. Again, it's like there's a lot of things that we've been talking about where we've shown Kickstarters that show the same things, and this is a little different than the rest.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I don't know if the game is going to be much there, but I do really like the look of it. I really do.
So it's interesting. The producer of this, he produced the Exceed fighting system, which is like not anything like this. This is their first game that they're putting out, but it looks pretty solid for game number 1 from a company.
Yeah.
I like it.
Those foods look delicious.
Now I'm going to go eat one right now. But before we do that, and we got to get going here because the rocket launch is only an hour away.
Ooh, that's right.
So Z, what's your pick of the week? I'm going to find it before you even say it.
Okay, go ahead. Find it. It's pretty obvious. There was not a lot of competition for me this time.
Yeah.
Woo! Dale Merchants 3, right?
That is not it.
It's not.
No.
I don't know what it is. I thought it would be Dale Merchants 3 because I know you like Dale Merchants a lot.
I do, but no, I'm backing it. I'm perfectly content with it. No big surprises there. No, I'm going with Sea of Legends is my pick.
Well, then that was not obvious for me at all. I would never have guessed you would pick that one.
Really? It's the one big, gorgeous Kickstarter-y game in this whole thing that looks worthwhile. You know what I mean? Like all the other big, epic, here's a bunch of plastic, crazy minis, and here's a tentacle coming out of the ground or some such place. They all look generic. this one looks cool. This one looks interesting, unique, exciting. Is it going to be good? I have no idea. Are they going to with the app? Maybe, right? But if they pull all this off, if they line up all those ducks, I could see this game being fantastic. That's the promise, right? So I'm excited about this.
I'm with you. This is in my top 5 of the week. It looks really cool.
For sure. I never would have guessed that on you though.
I would not have guessed. He's like, it's obvious. Like, okay.
So obvious, guys. So obvious.
All right, Mike, what do you got?
And any guesses? Do you guys have any idea?
Tiny Epic something.
No, I am backing Tiny Epic, but that's not my pick. My pick is I'm going to go
Brawl.
On a much smaller scale. I'm going with Shepherd Kit and the Forest Defenders. I really like what they're doing, and I'm kind of rooting for this game to be as good as I hope it might be. Now, again, it's going to be geared towards kids, as Tom said, like Ocean Crisis was. But that's a game that you legitimately could play as long as you were just keeping in mind the type of game experience you have. I love the look of this. I love the theme of this. I think the components look fantastic. And again, I'm just hopeful that this company can keep their streak alive and keep putting out these quirky, cute, elegant little games.
Yeah. That's a good
All right.
one.
Well, this was.
I called it Forest Guardians. Sorry.
This is definitely was my runner-up, actually.
Awesome.
After that was the Bandana or the Bible game or Send It. But no, mine is just Maharaja.
Yeah.
I really like this game.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm pretty pumped about this. Although it's funny, the 3 games that we picked were my probably 3 that I would have chosen.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 clear standouts for me. But this Maharaja game looks really good to me. And I know Credo Creations took some heat for their last one, but I look at the overall with them, and they put out some really solid games. I really like what they've done. I also think they learned from the mistakes and stuff. And so I'm hoping that this one comes over well. And I just love this game. So I'm glad to see it come back.
Right.
And it's weird because
are you willing to replay it, Z, now knowing that it's been like kind of retooled a little bit?
Yeah,
or are you just
I'll play it anyway. This was not that long of a game. I just remember it being it's basically a programming Euro game that completely kicked you in the teeth. It was not fun at all. I did not, like I said, I rated it a 3. It's a game in which you programmed your actions, and then as soon as somebody else took their turn before you, you realized, oh, I took bad actions. Great. It's everything I did not like in Euro games. I wanted to make grand plans and have cool concepts and ideas. But it's a programming game.
It's been 15 years, so it's always possible. That plus the redesign. Sometimes
maybe I'll like it now. Maybe I'll rate it a 5. But I don't know. Probably won't like it. But I'll be willing to try it. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
All righty, folks. Well, that's it. We'll be back. Okay, first of all, some live stuff coming up tonight. We have a daily chat. No, we don't. Tonight is Dice Hour tonight at 9 o'clock with Eric and Crystal. Tomorrow, the 3 of us will be back where we go over all 41 of the previous Spiel des Jahres winners, and we vote the best of them. The winner takes it all. We're going to do that live tomorrow. Hopefully, you guys will come along and have fun with us. It'll be 2 o'clock tomorrow. And then tomorrow, and Board Game Breakfast tomorrow morning. So join us at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All righty. Well, like I said, they're about to launch Americans into Space for the first time in many years. So that's about to happen. And it's not too far from us. Well, it's like, it's like what, 400 miles or something, but it's still pretty close.
Yeah.
You'll feel it for sure.
We're not going to feel it.
No, I'm kidding.
We might see it, though.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you.
I'm Mike Delisio. Take care, everybody.
Special thanks to Mark Streed. Have fun gaming.